Hello everyone, this is part 13 of What If Naruto was actually helped by the third Hokage, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Trip to the Sage Woods. 3 weeks after the Hokage dinner, Naruto had all his girls gathered together in the newly built living room of the expansion. He did the clone shuffle and cuddled up next to all the girls simultaneously. The topic of discussion tonight was Hinata. Naruto and his clones took turns speaking so that the girls never knew who was the real one. Okay, girls, I promise I am not doing this on purpose. 3 weeks ago, Hokage formally offered me Hinata's hand in marriage. I don't know why. This always happens to me. The girls laughed at his antics. They were each more than happy to snuggle in with their Naruto. Unsurprisingly, it was Anko that took the lead. Damn, Ruto. 6 girls before your 14th birthday. That is quite the pace you're setting. Her playful tone earned chuckles from the other girls. Samui added, I used to think guys that wanted harems were disgusting. Now look at me. She then planted a fat kiss on her Naruto clone. Hako laughed out loud as her clone tickled her. If it were anybody else, I would agree with you, Samui. But this is Ruto. How can I not adore him? She then jumped onto the clone's lap and initiated a little makeout session. Yup, it is Ruto alright. I have known him since I was 3, along with Hinata-chan, so I don't see a problem with letting her into the club. Ino squealed as a Naruto applied lighting chakra over her budding nipple. She slapped the clone in a playful manner and decided to follow the other girls' examples. Hinata watched the other girls make out with their Narutos. She made eye contact with hers, which happened to be the original, and closed her eyes, inviting him in for a kiss. Naruto obliged. Hinata had an enormous amount of pent-up sexual frustration. She had been watching him date other girls and build his harem. She wanted so badly to be a part of it, but never had the courage to ask. Thus, when she was kissing Naruto, she went from shy and timid to an unrestrained freak. It didn't take her more than a minute to mount him and lead the kiss from there. The girls eventually got their Naruto fix and calmed down, since Naruto made it clear he wanted to talk about something serious. Okay, girls, Kurama has told me that it is time for me to visit the Sage Woods. I need to go and address my summon clan. This can take anywhere from a couple of months to a year. Q has told me that we can stop back from time to time. My plan is to leave a blood clone in my place. It should act like a shadow clone. I don't really know. Haven't done this jutsu before. I am leaving the clone to study under the Hokage and act as the Hokage's assistant. I will leave it instructions to take each of you out once a week. Does that sound fair? Ruto, will this blood clone be able to make shadow clones? Was the astute question from Kuretsuki. Maybe a couple. Since he will not have a link to Kurama, I don't want him to push it. That jutsu has a terrible backlash. It will have as much chakra as Kakashi and should be self-sustaining. So, it might be able to manage a couple clones, but nowhere near what I can make. Ruto, are we allowed to treat him like you? Was the suggestive question from Anko. I really wish you wouldn't. I should get all of its memories in the end, but I would rather enjoy firsts and save that level of intimacy for us. It was a sweet sentiment and he got nods from every girl except Anko. Naruto decided that a night to bond with each girl was a good idea. He went with each girl into their own room. Anko got her month's worth of sex out of the real Naruto that night. The rest of the girls enjoyed make-out sessions with light petting. Naruto was the most surprised, yet again, by the fierce transformation of Hinata in the bedroom. The next day came all too soon and the group was eating breakfast in the kitchen. Naruto had let Q out the previous night and saw Q in the kitchen with Sume. She gave a casual greeting to the other girls. It was no mystery what her and Q were doing. Naruto wondered if there were anything he could do about the memories of Q and Sume. Naruto found himself strangely attracted to and protective of the feral woman. Q and Sume found it cute. Sume just found it sad that her daughter, Hana, didn't have a place in Naruto's harem. Additionally, she found it surprising how well the girls got along. She just marked it up as a credit to Naruto. The Hokage, Jiraiya and Tsunade showed up toward the end of breakfast to see Naruto off. Naruto went through hand signs a liter of his blood that he had saved up formed into a blood clone. He confirmed with the blood clone that it understood his instructions before stepping into the middle of the training grounds. He summoned Kurama, who then reverse summoned him to the Sage Woods. The girls looked at the blood clone and realized that it just wasn't the same. Hopefully, it would be able to give them their Naruto fix. Naruto appeared next to Kurama in the Sage Woods. There were massive redwood-like trees that spanned as far as Naruto could see. The trees seemed to be around 30 feet in diameter, with some standing above others with 50 feet in diameter trucks. The ground-level foliage was rich and fairly dense, with brown pine needles filling in where green left space. There was a vibrant forest life in the area, between the squirrels Naruto could see and the deer running beneath the redwood trees. Kurama made a sweeping motion with his head that told Naruto to follow him. They bounded through the forest for 15 to 20 minutes before things changed. Naruto could see a clearing about a mile or two in diameter that was peppered with massive trees. The base of the biggest tree must have been 200 feet in diameter. He saw Kitsune scurrying around the clearing. They had anywhere from 1 to 6 tails and were a variety of colors. They varied in sizes from Labrador retrievers to mammoth-sized creatures. Naruto noticed that there weren't any fox kits running around, but figured he could ask Kurama about that later. As Naruto and his partner appeared at the edge of the clearing, all foxes turned and bowed to Kurama. Kurama's voice carried across the clearing. "It is good to see you all again, please return to what you were doing." The motion returned to the clearing. Kurama shrank down to a lion-sized fox with his 9 orange tails swinging behind him. In this form, his shoulders were at Naruto's shoulder height. An envoy of regal-looking foxes made their way to greet Kurama. 2 7-tailed foxes were in the lead, flanked behind by 5 more. The lead fox on the left had a beautiful brown fur coat, with patches of white at its paws, underbelly and around its left eye. There were battle scars on its snout and it gave off a dominant aura. The lead fox on the left had a dark blue coat that shimmered with a purple sheen. Naruto saw that his one's underbelly was a soft purple, and he could make out teats. The face carried a gentler, but no less powerful, visage to it. The foxes in the rear were clearly older and smaller. Their whiskers were grayed, and their fur didn't shine like the two in front of them. Their auras were also not nearly as flamboyant despite them having 6 tails. "Greeting, Lord Kurama, welcome home," came the soft and elegant voice of the fox on the right. All foxes of the envoy bowed their heads in respect to Kurama. "Ah, Kalasi, it is good to see you again. Fenric, I thank you again for your help dealing with those snakes. Elders, it has been too long. Have your whiskers grayed more, or is it just me?" Kurama's playful greeting put the group at ease. Fenric answered, "Lord Kurama, it is good to see you again. Thank you for calling me out for some fun. I am always up for a snake hunt." The elder in the center stepped forward, as impudent as ever. "Lord Kurama, we were alive when the sage, may Kami rest his soul, chose you. It has been a century since we last saw you. So, forgive this old fox for graying a bit. It is all in good fun, Henrik. We have much to discuss, but before we gather in the council, let me introduce you to my partner and our newest summoner, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze." All foxes bowed their heads and Henrik beckoned them to follow him to the biggest tree in the clearing. Before entering the tree, all foxes shrunk down to the size of a Great Dane. After they entered, more foxes followed. Soon the massive room, complete with a balcony overlooking the main seating area, was filled by the Kitsune Clan. The meeting began by Kurama telling his story and the reason for his absence. After he had spoken, Henrik explained the Kitsune's past century. The Kitsune had been in trouble without their fox lord present. Since Kurama's departure, they have not been able to conceive new kits, which had left the clan distressed. Any pregnancies would fail, and the lack of new blood had massive ramifications for the clan. Evidently, Kitsune received chakra blessings from Kurama when new kits were in the womb. These chakra blessings ensured a successful pregnancy. Naruto was distressed to hear this. After the Kitsune recognized his right to speak, he began. "As of right now, Kurama is sealed inside me. We have found workarounds for this, such as his summoning and me letting his soul inhabit a human form. If you honor me as your summoner, I will do my utmost to create a portal that is linked to here from my home village. I am a Fuinjutsu master and will be able to link our two realms, should you allow it. Naruto concluded with a bow to those assembled. Kalasi spoke, do you have the authority to create such a portal? And we cannot give access to our realm to any human. There were many nodding heads to this. In 4 years, I will become the leader of my village. If I cannot get approval to do it before then I will create the portal when I become Hokage. As I said, I am a seal master. I can create the portal so only the Kitsune Clan and its summoners may use it. The Toads have one such portal outside of Konoha. Fenrich then spoke, that is all well and good. However, Lord Kurama is sealed inside you and your souls are linked by the Shinigami. If he dies, the Kitsune Clan will die out without his blessings. Kurama spoke, I will leave the Kitsune Clan scroll in the possession of the elders. Should we fall, however unlikely it may be, either Fenrich or Kalasi will take over the clan. Your blessings should be sufficient to birth the kits. They will not be as strong until you grow your 8th tail, but it will do for a worst-case scenario. Kurama's tone was confident and absolute. One of the elders spoke up in a wheezy voice. Lord Kurama, surely you are not content to be sealed in such a human. Would it not be best to kill him and begin your reformation? You are a fool. Do not sleep through my words. A power far greater than mine bonds us. The Shinigami himself has bound our souls. Until we repay the Shinigami, if he dies, I die. There is nobody foolish enough to attempt to trick the Shinigami. Death will always win out in the end. The elder backed away with his head bowed, ears down and tails between his legs. Naruto spoke up. I pledge to return to these woods once a month so Kurama can bless any kits. This is a priority to me, and it brings me to my next question. I have spoken with Kurama, and he wanted me to get the approval of the clan. I wish to make the Fox clan a family contract for the Namika's side of my lineage. Murmurs broke out among the crowd of foxes. It was silenced by Kurama's growl. This human kit here has earned my complete trust. He has accepted and purified my hatred for humanity. I wish to leave this decision to the Kitsune Clan as a matter of respect. Now, I will hear a vote on this. His voice echoed throughout the chamber. Kalasi then put it to a vote. Kitsune had a rather unique way of voting. They raised their tails. Therefore, the more powerful members of the clan carried more weight in their vote. The final count was 420 tails in approval with 60 tails against the measure. Kurama let out a pleased growl from his throat. Good. Now on to the next matter. Where is Kitsuryu? An old gray fox stepped forward in response to Kurama's call. Good to see you again, old friend. I wish you to instruct Naruto in the ways of the Kitsune. Once he has mastered your teachings, you will see if he can learn senjutsu. Gasps and chirps erupted from the foxes in attendance. Kitsuryu bowed his ancient and graying head. It will be done, Lord Kurama. The meeting was brought to a close and Naruto went to meet and bond with as many Kitsune as he could. He created nearly 100 shadow clones that went out and got to know the Kitsune. While they were initially stunned, they opened up to him and welcomed him into the clan. Just like his affect of his human friends, Naruto's presence brought light and life back to the Kitsune clan. 8 months of training. Naruto had studied with Kitsuryu, Fenrich, Kalasi and Kurama for the past 8 months. He worked tirelessly to absorb the knowledge of the Kitsune clan. The only breaks he allowed himself were Sundays when he would return to Konoha for a day at a time. Many other of the battle Kitsune enjoyed sparring against Naruto as well. The way the boy used the shadow clones essentially made it so he could learn from anyone who was willing to teach him. He demonstrated his mastery of the Kitsune arts after 3 months of training. It was his training in senjutsu that caused him to hit a roadblock. Naruto had been meditating since early childhood, so he picked up quickly on feeling out natural energy. Naruto could feel the natural energy and draw it into himself. However, instead of permeating throughout his chakra system, it flowed into the seal. Kurama could feel the influx of natural energy, but he couldn't release it from the seal in a constructive manner. This problem went on until Naruto forced Jiraiya to give him the key to his seal. Naruto's plan was to unlock his seal and eliminate the obstacle. However, Kurama informed him that doing so would instigate a fight between Naruto's chakra and his. Kurama wouldn't overtly try to kill the boy, but the potency of his chakra posed a great risk to Naruto. Therefore, Naruto trained for the fight to come with Kurama's chakra. Naruto prepared in a cave, far from the Kitsune Clan compound. He laid out seal matrices that would help him suppress and control Kurama's chakra. He created chakra storage seals on his own body. He combined these seals into a tattoo of Kurama over his back. Really, the tattoo was just a seal that converted the ink on his back into a permanent genjutsu. The real seals were hidden under the tattoo-like genjutsu. Naruto spent weeks storing chakra into the seals to use as a reserve. Using these seals would severely strain his chakra network and tenketsu, but he deemed the risk worth it. At the start of the 7th month with the Kitsune Clan, Naruto was ready to open his seal. He removed all chakra-restrictive seals, weight seals and gravity seals that he had been using for training. At 14.5 years old, Naruto was going to take on the strongest Biju in existence, at its full power. Naruto placed himself in the middle of his sealing matrix. He activated the barrier that would feed off of the chakra of those within the barrier to maintain itself. If he failed and lost control, he would be locked inside this cave in theory. Naruto meditated and entered his mindscape. He walked over to Kurama and hugged his massive snout. Kurama wrapped his tail around him and returned the gesture. After "I believe in you, Kit," from Kurama, Naruto approached the seal with the key in hand. The rock that was holding the sealing tag floated up to chest height and showed Naruto the tag. Naruto removed the tag all at once and inserted the key. Suddenly, a pair of hands stopped him. He turned to see his father, Minato Namikaze, staring at him. "Hey there, Naruto, I am a chakra construct left by, well me." The image of Naruto's father scratched the back of his neck sheepishly, the same way Naruto did. "Yeah, I could have guessed that too, Chan. Well, I was about to fight Kurama in order to share and integrate his chakra, wanna help." The nonchalant statement from his son caused Minato to grow worried. "Son, are you sure you're ready? You don't even look 15 yet. Two-chan, it seems you didn't have access to my memories as a stored construct. Here." Naruto touched the chakra construct's forehead and focused him memories into Minato's head. "Wow, okay then. Well, before you do that, let's bring you mother out." Minato put his hand on the seal and a redhead beauty emerged from it. She looked confused for a second before she ran and tackled Naruto. While hugging his mother, he also imprinted his memories on the now free chakra construct. Kushina began crying into Naruto's shoulder. "I'm so proud of my Sochi. Minato-kun, did you see all he has done?" "Yes, Kushi-chan. Who would have thought to bring about world peace by marrying someone from each village? It is so simple, it's genius." Minato laughed as he said this. "I knew Jiraiya perverted you, you Ero blondie." Another sheepish neck rub from his father and a chuckle, then, "It never seemed to bother you in the bedroom." Naruto covered his ears and said, "EWW," while Kushina's chakra construct pounded on Minato. Naruto thought that his mother must have gotten that from Tsunade. A deep chuckle drew the group's attention. "Well, I regret to inform you that it is not good to see you both again. I have partnered with your Kit, and he has my respect, but you two do not. Come on, Kurama. Don't be like that. They are only chakra constructs. Anyway, you wanna get this fight over with. That chakra draining barrier will kill us both if we don't hurry this up." Naruto's playful response worried Kurama. It is like he wasn't taking this seriously. "Oi, Kit, this isn't a walk through the park. This is going to be your toughest fight yet. So, serious mode on and bring it, ninjan." Kurama's smile was battle-crazed. He wanted a good fight. Naruto and the two chakra constructs took battle positions. Naruto approached the seal once again and turned the key counterclockwise. They were blasted by a wave of potent red chakra as the chakra barrier shimmered out of existence and Kurama let out a roar. The fight was on. Naruto summoned 40 clones and performed the Firestorm collaboration jutsu. Kurama answered it with his Kitsune Fire Stream. The fire jutsu clashed in a magnificent display that blinded the motionless Kurama. He felt the chakra around him, but his legs were wrapped by those damned Uzumaki chakra chain. 20 Naruto clones with Odoma Razingans, and the fourth Hokage with his Odoma Rasengan, pelted the head of Kurama, driving it into the ground. Before dispelling, each Naruto clone attached a weight seal to the fox's head. Kurama struggled to lift his head due to the weight, and then he was wrapped up in Uzumaki chakra chains. The weight seals added more weight with the more chakra added. Since Kurama was made purely of chakra, they each kept soaking up chakra until each seal weighed well over 1 ton. Naruto dashed to Kurama, linked his chakra to his and began pulling on Kurama's chakra. The prone form of Kurama felt it impossible to move. The seal from outside was draining his chakra and the 3 constructs in his mind were making it difficult. He didn't want to kill the kit anyway because then he would die. He was holding himself back quite a bit, but he was still going to make them work for it. Kurama swished his tails in a violent maelstrom, sending semi-sized wind blades left and right. Minato rapidly created a lightning barrier to absorb the impact of the wind blades. Kushina clasped her hands together and more chakra chains sprouted from the ground and began immobilizing Kurama's tails one by one. The fox was finally immobilized and Kushina was struggling to suppress the fox. Naruto had been pulling on Kurama's chakra, but it felt like his whole body was full of the burning chakra. He paused his advance as his left eye turned black with a red iris. Half of Naruto's body started cubifying. He had one fox ear on the left top of his head. His left hand had morphed into a claw. He sprouted 4 tails. This was more chakra than he had ever controlled before, and he felt his will slipping to the power of the chakra. A hand on his shoulder brought him back. Think of all those counting on you to return home, son. Anko, Ino, Hinata, Samui, Kuretsuki, Haku, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Hiruzen, Danzo, Hitomi, Hiashi, Hisashi, Mikoto, Sasuke, Shisui, Itachi, Shikamaru, Chuji, Kurama. The voice of his father urged him to take a step back with each name, reaffirming his will, strengthening his resolve. By the time his father reached Kurama's name, he was shrouded in a violent red storm with 8 tails waving violently behind him. He remembered his promise to Ai, Onoki and Mei. He remembered his vow to change this world for the better. He remembered his vow to himself. He screamed out in a loud, powerful and feral voice, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze never gives up and never goes back on his word. The last pull severed the connection between his chakra and the fox. The outer seals were helping to drain the excess chakra, but they were soon overloaded by the sheer quantity of it. Internally, his mother let go of Kurama and wrapped him in a hug. His black eyes with red pupils reverted to their ocean blue state. His features began to soften and return to normal. He embraced his mother's chakra construct and the tails condensed into a golden shroud around him. The seal on his stomach, standing out in an intricate and bold black color, was burning from the heavy chakra flow. His father embraced him from behind and helped bring the last bit of rampaging chakra under control. He walked over to Kurama, who looked like he was skin and bones, and held out a glowing, golden fist. When the fox's fist contacted with Naruto's, life instantly returned to Kurama. Kurama was perplexed. He just fought me for my chakra. Then he realized it. The chakra that Naruto returned was purified. The fog of hatred that Kurama normally felt from his chakra was absent. The ancient Kitsune looked down at the boy. He was now certain that he was the boy his father spoke of. Sorry about that, Q. It was never about stealing your chakra for me. It was about removing every obstacle that stopped us from sharing it. What you say, partner? Naruto's voice was filled with mirth, and he had that gigawatt smile on his silly human face. Kurama roared out in laughter. I say that you are the one my father spoke of. From this day, until your dying day, I am your partner. Proud member of the Namikaze Kitsune Clan. The fox placed a genuine smile on its face. Unfortunately, Minato and Kushina were not used to Kurama, so they perceived it as a menacing grin. Who could blame them? A 40-story fox with teeth as big as they were will inevitably look pretty damned menacing. Naruto turned around to address his parents' chakra constructs. He noticed that he was now standing as tall as his father at 5 feet 11 inches. The power radiating from him felt strange. He created a shadow clone and observed it. Indeed, it was taller and more mature. It looked like he had gone through puberty already. His body was toned into an Olympian figure and the tight muscles rippled just beneath the skin. His face was more angular and feral, and his whisker marks were more distinct. After taking in his appearance, he shook it off and shelved it for later. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I appreciate your help in that. Kurama, I want you in on this, succumb. The mindscape changed from a destroyed battleground to the lakeside view. Kurama posted up on his rock and watched Naruto sit at the water's edge talking to his parents' chakra constructs. Kushina did most of the talking while Minato sat back and listened. Since they had access to his memories, Kushina kept picking his brain and bugging him about the girls in his life. He had about 1 hour with his parents to simply relax and be a kid. The chakra constructs started flickering and they knew they were running out of time. Kushina pulled Naruto into a deep hug. Keep true to yourself, Sochi. I am so proud of you. Sorry, Minato, I took up most of your time. No worries, my love. Son, listen to everything your nagging mother said. I am proud of the man you've become. Protect those you love, protect Konoha and fulfill your dream. You are on the right path. While he was saying this, he wrapped Naruto in a tender embrace. Kushina looked up to Kurama. I am sorry I never gave you a chance. Look after my Sochi, please. She bowed along with Minato to the great Kitsune. Kurama grunted. I gave him my word. Now you have it too. Rest peacefully in the pure world. Naruto was holding his parents' hands as the chakra constructs blinked out of existence. He wiped the tears from his eyes and went to rest in one of Kurama's tails. Now that the seal was down, Naruto's connection to him felt so vivid. Being near Kurama felt like home. His consciousness fell into a peaceful resting state while wrapped in Q's tail. After Naruto awoke in the cave, he returned to his senjutsu training with Kitsuryu. It took him 3 additional days to reach an unstable senjutsu state. The remainder of the month was him perfecting the senjutsu state. Just like every other problem, Naruto found that he could solve it with clones. In battle, he could dispatch clones to collect nature energy and dispel to return the energy to himself. In his full Kitsune Sage mode, Naruto's speed doubled, his sensory abilities went beyond Kurama's own, his strength increased by 5 times and his body was far more durable. He naturally healed fast, but with Sage mode activated he could heal broken bones in less than a minute and lesser injuries almost instantly. The balance of natural energy with his chakra enhanced his jutsu and elevated their potency and scale. The final test of Naruto's senjutsu training was a fight between Kalasi and Fenric, at the same time. It was a very one-sided contest. Naruto nailed them with multiple combination jutsu and would attack openings with punches and kicks that sent the massive foxes sprawling. They ended up surrendering due to injuries. After the spar was over, it was announced that the first birth in the clan would happen in 1 month's time. The group celebrated with a barrel of Kitsune Fire whiskey. Not even Naruto's natural resistance to poisons could prevent the hangover he felt the next day. Return to Konoha. Naruto thanked the Kitsune Clan and promised to be present with Kurama for the birth of the first kits in centuries. There were multiple pregnancies in progress and the spirit of the Kitsune Clan had never been higher. The clan bid them farewell before Kurama reverse summoned them to Konoha. Naruto appeared in the training grounds of the Namika's estate, where the girls were waiting for him. They had each made do with the Naruto blood clone, however, they realized it paled compared to the real thing. It was Anko who tackled him to the ground and the rest piled on. He was showered in love, affection and, I missed you. When he all got the girls to let him stand up, they gasped. Naruto was now a full head taller than all of them. Multiple hands felt out his toned body and Naruto had to stop Anko's hand from exploring elsewhere. Okay, girls, do you want to catch up together or clone style? He asked while chuckling. The girls looked at each other and then back to him. Clones, please. Naruto laughed heartily as 5 other Narutos appeared laughing as well. They dashed inside and came back out carrying an assortment of drinks and snacks. Each pair split off and caught up with each other. They talked until dinner time. Then Naruto and his clones went to prepare a meal for his ladies, after which the group ate in an amicable peace. Once the group finished eating, the girls told Naruto that they all wanted to spend the night with the real him. Naruto wound up on his bed with 6 gorgeous women. Most people would call this heaven and Naruto tended to agree. Lying on a king-sized bed with 6 horny women in their nightgowns was a slice of heaven. Since Anko was the only one that had crossed the sex line with Naruto, the night ended calmly with the girls falling asleep on top of him. The next morning, he promised each girl a date and some alone time. It was then that his blood clone came to him while he was eating breakfast. Naruto and the blood clone joined hands that the blood clone dispersed in a red mist. As the mist was absorbed into Naruto, 8 months of memories came charging back into his head. He meditated for an hour to sort it all out. That was when he picked up on a key event. The Sand siblings were still in Konoha, and the Naruto clone had been involved in resolving the fallout with the Sand. Flashback 6 months ago. The Naruto clone, just Naruto for this flashback, walked into the Hokage's office. The typical important people were there. You called for me, Hokage-sama. Yes, Naruto-kun. The Sand has sent us their response to our demands, and I wanted you to be involved. How is the Gaki involved this time, sensei? Don't tell me it's another marriage proposal. Jiraiya deadpanned at the look Hiruzen was giving him. The boy already has 6 intended spouses. Isn't that the maximum allowed by the CRA? Koharu interjected. She was growing sick of this kid being involved in literally everything. Let's review the other items before addressing that one. Hiruzen said in a cautious tone. He knew Naruto's political harem was stretched thin already. Then that damned Hiashi had to go and throw his daughter into it. The first item was a trade for their captured shinobi. They claim that they do not have the funds to match our demand. Homura said in a simple tone. Well, they don't have much of a choice, Danzo started. The standard price was attached to the heads of the prisoner shinobi. I do not see why we should concede on such a thing. The reason for them joining Orochimaru in the first place was an economic depression brought on by the daimyo giving us more missions than Sunagakure. If we press on this issue, all-out war is the inevitable outcome. Hiruzen said wearily. Naruto chipped in, what if we forego immediate payment? Say, we take 10% of their GDP until the standard amount is paid off. In addition, we let them have the missions from the daimyo and effectively turn all of Suna into a labor force. Our forces are stretched this as is with all the mission requests after the Chunin exams. We could apply this policy to all our demands. This will secure a financial income source for Konoha and not completely destroy their economy. Danzo shook his head. We trained you too well, Naruto-kun. Maybe we should have all village children given political education by clan heads. It has produced wondrous results so far. Hiruzen nodded his head. That is an idea worth considering another time. For now, we will put the vote of payment by percentage to our council for a vote. The next issue was repaying cost of reconstruction. They bring up a fair point that it was Otogakure that did most of the damage. How about we reduce the amount owed by half and offer to put this to their collected debt? He got nods from around the room. Danzo felt he should speak on this next issue. The return of the Sand siblings, whom we are holding as political prisoners. This is a card we cannot afford to play lightly. We have their Jinchuriki and 2 of their highest potential shinobi. Naruto offered his opinion. I believe this is where we press for jutsu and knowledge. Let's ask for a few Suna-wind jutsu and their collected knowledge on poisons and antidotes. This got excited looks from those in the room. Suna decided to speak on this. Suna was always leagues ahead of us in poisons. I had to work my tail off in the second Shinobi War to keep up with Chio. I believe this knowledge will be worth it. Which brings us to item 4. They want to offer political marriage to reinstate the prior alliance and prevent betrayal. Unlike other villages, they will not fight for the custody of the children. In return for this leniency, they selected Naruto as their chosen suitor for Temari Subaku. Hiruzen's voice was cautious in its approach. Am I the only damned man in Konoha? Even I must admit this is getting ridiculous. Naruto was exasperated. Can we at least attempt a counteroffer on this point? I will not make the decision on this. At this point, you can ask my future wives if they refute the counter. Koharu was shocked at his reluctance but appreciated the boy's integrity. I believe we have many other clan heirs that could pass. Shikamaru Nara, Itachi Uchiha, Chuji Akamaiki and Kiba Inuzuka to name a few. Too lazy, Anbu commander, not really the political type of guy and are you insane? Was Jiraiya's response. While crude, there was truth in all he said. Hiruzen sighed deeply. We will counteroffer with their pick of the clan heirs. Finally, what to do about Gaara's seal? They did not wish to pay to have the seal reinforced. Then I will do it for free. You all know my stance on Biju and their hosts. I cannot, in good conscience, return Gaara without altering his seal. It is part of my promise to Kurama. I propose we offer this as a good faith addition. Naruto's stern voice once again made them look at him as far more than a 14-year-old kid. Danzo had to pitch in his 2 cents. Naruto, seals regarding Biju are some of the most highly prized secrets of every hidden village. We cannot simply give it away. Danzo-sensei, what does it cost us to do so? I will not use any of the best Uzumaki sealing techniques. I will simply separate the Biju from its host. Imagine if you and Mrs. Shimura were stuck together the 24th of July 365 and she knew every idea that popped into your head. Not only that, but she could force certain thoughts into your head. That is how Gaara has lived his life. Danzo visibly shuddered at the idea. Danzo was a man that required his alone time. Naruto just spelled out one of his nightmares. Fine, Naruto-kun. You have done well diplomatically thus far. Is there any way to incorporate a failsafe should said Jinchuriki be turned against us in the future? No, Danzo-sensei. I am the failsafe. Even if Gaara gets complete mastery over Shukaku, I will be far stronger. Biju suppressing and containment seals are far too complex to try adding foreign elements into the seal. Everyone nodded at this and knew it to be true. Naruto casually thrashed Gaara in the finals. Naruto had one last thought to add. Hokage-sama, these negotiations will go on forever via letter. I propose that they send an envoy of council delegates since they do not have a cage. Since they are the ones in the wrong, they should come to us. Set a date for after my original's return. I leave the rest in your capable hands. With a bow, Naruto left the group to discuss. End of flashback. Naruto sighed as he flashed outside of the Hokage's office before he casually walked into the office. In the office, he saw Team 9 had just reported in. However, something was different with them. Then he realized it. Lee and Guy were wearing legitimate ninja clothing. Lee and Guy, why do you look so normal? Was the stunned Naruto's eloquent entrance to the conversation. Ah, Naruto-kun. After our most youthful wager, and my wardrobe change, I started dating Sakura-chan. She said she really liked my new look, so I kept it. Was Lee's overly excited response. Indeed, Naruto-kun. It was the power of love that inspired me as well. The beautiful Mikoto Uchiha agreed to date me as well. She also appreciated my new look. A growl could be heard from the corner of the room behind the Hokage. Dragon, is that you? Your mom is dating my guy. Question mark. Ha ha ha. That worked out better than my wildest dreams. Naruto was on the floor, rolling around, clutching his side and roaring out in full-blown laughter. Dragon, against all decorum, broke from his spot in the wall. Sharingan blazing from behind his mask. He placed Naruto and Kurama into a genjutsu where they were forced to watch the cursed Lee plus Guy genjutsu. Naruto was so horror-stricken that it took a full iteration of the scarring genjutsu for him to break free. He could still see the rainbow and hear the ocean waves rolling in. Dragon, that is quite enough. Need I remind you that Naruto is my heir apparent, and thus your superior? Hiruzen's tone was playful but firm. Dragon turned and bowed to the Hokage before returning to his post. Team 9, that will be all. Please have your written reports to me by the end of the day and you have tomorrow off. After Team 9 left, Naruto had the Hokage clear the room, except for Dragon. Sorry, Itachi. I couldn't help it. After his response, Naruto continued to tell the Hokage what happened in the Kitsune woods. Dragon's mask fell off, he was so stunned, and Hiruzen was no better. Naruto snapped a quick picture for a memento. Naruto the brought out Q, who validated Naruto's statement. They noticed his accelerated growth and noted it as further proof that what he said was true. Naruto went into Kitsune Sage mode to satiate Hiruzen's curiosity. The feral features, golden slitted eyes, orange markings on the face and an aura that dwarfed any Hiruzen could compare it to. He instinctively knew that Jiraiya could no longer stand toe-to-toe with Naruto. Then Naruto did the impossible. He entered his golden fox form, his human state of Biju synchronization. The chakra pressure broke all windows and nearly broke through the reinforced floor. The weight of the chakra had almost forced Itachi and Hiruzen to their knees. Both of them were floored. They both acknowledged Naruto as the strongest shinobi in Konoha but deemed that it should be kept a secret due to the threat of Akatsuki. The Hokage told Naruto that he would get a full briefing on the Akatsuki from Jiraiya later. Okay, Naruto-kun. The results of your training are most impressive. The Suna delegation will arrive next week for the finalization of the new treaty. Your ideas went over well for the most part. We will have final deliberations and ratification next week. If you wish to adjust Gaara's seal, you will need to do so by then. Take the week to work out the seal you want to use. Naruto nodded to the Hokage and disappeared in a yellow flash. Date nights with the ladies. When Naruto returned to the compound, he found out that the girls had some competition to see who would get the first date with Naruto, and it was Ino. Naruto picked Ino up from the flower shop that evening and took her to her favorite restaurant. Ino had grown a bit since he last saw her. She had filled out nicely with a C-cup bust hidden behind a purple top that cut off just below her breasts. Think Ino from Shippuden. The dinner was amazing. Naruto always loved Ino's personality, and she had gotten feistier from spending time around Anko. Evidently, Anko had taken Ino as her apprentice. Ino had developed rapidly under the Snake Mistress and earned a promotion to Chunin at the Kumo Chunin exams. Naruto's clone hadn't made it out to Kumo due to its responsibilities as heir apparent. Naruto paid for dinner before Ino guided Naruto to their next destination. They walked hand in hand through the village talking to each other like nobody else existed. They arrived at the base of a waterfall and a small lake 15 minutes later. Before Naruto could ask, Ino had stripped down to her birthday suit and laid her panties on top of Naruto's head. While Naruto was stripping, Ino jumped into the shallow pond. Naruto jumped in after her and used a burst of speed to swim up behind her and embrace her. She felt his length on her leg for a brief moment before Naruto dunked her underwater. XXX lemon start XXX. After recovering from the unexpected dunking, Ino separated from Naruto and began a splash fight. Naruto marveled at the perky C-cup breasts that kept peeking above the surface of the water. He closed the distance and snaked his arms around Ino's waist. His eyes met hers in a clash of baby blues before he leaned in and initiated a passionate kiss. The make-out session heated up rapidly before Ino jumped up and wrapped her legs around Naruto's waist. His impressive length was pressed between their two bodies, giving Ino a startling revelation of his size. The damn thing reached practically up to her sternum. This intimidating thought was drowned out by lust as Naruto coated his fingertips in fire chakra and began kneading them into her ass cheeks. The sensation caught Ino off guard and a pleasant moan escaped her lips. Naruto tried a light coating of lightning chakra on his lips that added an intriguing, yet pleasant, feeling as their make-out session progressed. Naruto used the principle of water walking to lay with his back on the surface of the water. Ino climbed onto him and took his length in her hand. The large, thick member pulsed in her hand as she gently stroked up and down. Naruto deepened the kiss with one hand behind Ino's head, pulling her down to him while the other alternated between lightning and water chakra while playing with her nipples. This was the best chakra control exercise ever. Ino was brought to her first climax by Naruto's ministrations to her tender and beautiful pink nipples. She collapsed onto Naruto, who let her catch her breath. Naruto slowly slid back down into the water, bringing Ino's shaking form with him. She hitched her legs around his waist as Naruto positioned the head of his eager cock at the entrance to her womanhood. Her lips began to wrap around its head as she gave the all clear. Naruto slowly slid his throbbing member into her entrance and made Ino a woman. Ino gasped out a slightly pained moan when Naruto was halfway in, and her nails dug into his back. Naruto slowly progressed until he was buried hilt deep in Ino. Her tight walls were constricting around his length in spasms as her body struggled to accommodate his rod. Once Ino had regained her bearings, she resumed kissing Naruto. This was Naruto's cue to begin a slow, rhythmic movement in and out of her warmth. Eventually, Ino began moving her hips to match his rhythm. The water between the two lovers splashed violently as the pace picked up. Ino fully cried out in pleasure when one of Naruto's fingers entered her ass. The violent beating of her pussy combined with the added and unexpected pleasure caused her to come again. The sensual contracting of the inner walls around Naruto's cock and the buildup of pressure brought him to orgasm as well. Naruto loved every second of Ino's body spasming in an erratic and sensual way in his arms. With the merger of the two complete, Naruto carried Ino over to the shore while still sheathed inside her. The combined bodily juices leaking out of her snatch revved Naruto up. Unfortunately, 2 orgasms for the virgin Kunoiki were more than she could endure for her first night with the blonde. He lay down on his clothing and positioned Ino on top of himself. They lay there and caught their breath for a couple of minutes before Ino rose and left Naruto's cot to deal with the chilly night air. Then she turned and with the most adorable smile on her lips said, "If you didn't know already, I love you, Ruto-kun." XXX lemon end XXX. Naruto attempted to carry Ino into her room after flashing back to the house. Unfortunately, nothing is missed when you live in a house with 6 women. Sometime during his stay in the Sage Woods, Hinata and Ino had gotten the approval of their parents to move in with Naruto. He liked to think it was because they trusted him completely with the daughters, but it likely had to do with his increased station and meteoric rise to power. Ino was still shaking and exhausted from their session earlier when they were jumped on by Anko and Kuretsuki. Surprisingly, when out of the public eye, Kuretsuki really let her hair down and became a bit wild, like Anko and Ino. Once the 3 started living together, it all kicked into overdrive. Thus, Naruto was left standing in the hallway as Anko and Kuretsuki locked themselves away in Ino's room for girl talk. Naruto shrugged after staring at Ino's door for a couple seconds before going to make himself some food. Naruto ended up creating clones to cuddle each girl to sleep that night. The next day came and went after a day full of Naruto deciding which route to take with Gaara's seal. Samui was the next girl in line for dates with Naruto. Samui was always a fun challenge for Naruto. She maintained a very cool exterior, but Naruto knew that is only what she chose to show people. He enjoyed the challenge of getting to Samui's soft and gooey sweet side. Samui chose to wear a light blue, strapless sundress that accentuated her ample bust. In a little less than a year, Samui had gone up several cup sizes and now sported a pair of DDs. The sundress cut off mid-thigh giving Naruto a very pleasant view of her long and toned legs. Samui was a sushi kind of girl, so they walked to the sushi bar in a high-end district of Konoha. Naruto was used to catching looks while walking through town, but the looks with Samui on his arm were far different. There was a lot more gawking from the males and jealous looks from the females. The way Samui pressed herself into him as they walked brought his thoughts back to her. They made small talk until they were seated in a nice booth on the 2nd floor of the fancy sushi restaurant. Once in the booth, Samui chose to slide over to his side and get some quality cuddle time while waiting for the food. The warm saucer of sake also helped to loosen Samui up a bit. "Ruto, can I ask you a question?" Her timid voice garnered his immediate attention. "Sure thing, Samui-chan. Fire away." His cheery voice and disarming smile made her relax a bit. "Does it bother you that I am not as sexual as the other girls?" "Absolutely not, I actually enjoy the different paces. It keeps things fresh. Plus, the way I see it, we have the rest of our lives to enjoy each other's company. Would you still love me, even if I weren't a virgin?" Naruto could feel Samui shaking slightly, so he pulled her in closer. Samui proceeded to tell Naruto about how her adoptive father started to sexually abuse her when she was 10. He did it for a whole year before Yugito found out and spilled his guts in a bar in Kumo. "I then let Yugito adopt and raise Samui until she was 13 and graduated from the ninja academy at the top of her class." Naruto was at a loss for words. He was enraged by what he heard, but he knew that wasn't what Samui needed. She needed to know that he would love her through it all. He pulled her onto his lap and snaked her arms around her belly. He used a light application of chakra on several pressure points in her midsection to help her relax. He continued to hold her close, listen to her and whisper soft reassurances in her ear until their food arrived. Samui decided to go to the other side of the table so they could look at each other while eating. "Thank you for telling me, Samui-chan. Know that I will honor you in all that I do. I love you and you can set the pace you're comfortable with." She nodded and continued eating. Ruto really got her to drop her walls. She didn't feel like she needed the cool personality around him. He was the first man to ever break through the facade she wore, and for that, she could safely say she loved him. After dinner, Naruto told Samui that he had a surprise for her. He walked her to a massage parlor, and they entered a room together. Instead of the couple's massage that she was expecting, Naruto asked her to strip and lay on the table. For the next hour, 2 Narutos worked her over from head to foot. The Narutos use variations of chakra and massage oil to enhance the massage and put Samui into a comfort coma of sorts. XXX warnings. Toward the end of the massage, Samui removed her towel completely and guided Naruto's hand to her honeypot. A confirming look in her eye begged him to proceed. Naruto played lightly with her blonde landing strip before warming up the area immediately above the pubic bone with some fire chakra. The smooth and warm circular rubbing enticed Samui to open her legs a bit. He kept rubbing that area and gently applied his other hand over her clitoris. The soothing combination of water and fire chakra lubricated and warmed up her clit before a finger entered through her folded slits. The thumb kept circling on the clit while Naruto's index finger applied upward pressure to merge both stimuli. Samui couldn't hold it in any more and released a torrent of sexual fluid in a powerful spray that arced across the room. Naruto didn't stop there. He continued by inserting his middle finger into the fray. He moved his focus from the clit to the G-spot that was buried slightly deeper. When he found this bundle of nerves and started working it, Samui started squirming on the table. Naruto's right hand worked his way to her left breast and started teasing the left nipple. As soon as Naruto applied some lightning chakra to his ministrations, Samui's restricted moans turned into outright screams of pleasure. It wasn't long until Naruto felt another build-up in Samui's vagina. As she climaxed, he put his mouth over her slit and took in as much of her as he could. With some light kisses and licks to clean up the leftover cum, he returned topside and gave Samui a deep and passionate kiss. Samui tried to return the favor to Naruto, but he declined, saying tonight was about her. Naruto once again flashed them back to the house. They cuddled on the couch together while the girls interrogated Samui about the date. They each cooed over the adorable look in Samui's eyes as she recalled the date for them. The jealousy Naruto could detect from them when Samui told him about the sensual massage made Naruto laugh. Naruto ended up sleeping alone with Samui that night because he wanted to make her feel special. The next day, Naruto went to visit the Sand siblings. They had been cooped up in a house that was made to house foreign dignitaries. It was a nice house, but a prison is a prison. Temari answered the door shortly after Naruto knocked. The annoyed look on her face turned to confusion when he asked if he could enter. She took him to the living room where Gaara and Kankuro were watching TV. Naruto didn't miss the flash of fear in Gaara's eyes when he recognized him. I am sure you have been told that the treaty should be signed in a couple of days. I apologize that it took me so long to get here. I had some summoning clan business that I had to attend to. They didn't give him a verbal response, so her continued. I came here to offer you help, Gaara. I can see the separation from you Biju has mellowed you out quite a bit. At this Gaara nodded. It has been good to sleep again. However, I haven't been able to use chakra since you placed that seal on me. It makes me feel very vulnerable. Like I said, it was never my intention to take this long. Diplomacy got in the way. To be frank, your village didn't want to pay the leaf for my services. They have already compiled quite the bill from the failed invasion. That is why I offered to do it for free. Temari stepped in. Why would you do that? Why help a potential enemy and somebody who already betrayed you? Naruto locked eyes with Temari. She was taken aback by the depth and compassion she saw in them. It forced her own eyes and posture to soften in response. Naruto answered her question. I don't know if you know, but I started the negotiations between the Leaf, Kumo, Kiri and Iwa. Shortly after the invasion, a treaty was signed, largely due to my influence. I made an appeal to them that I will make to you. I care not for grudges of the past. I care not for greed or power. All of my efforts are focused on forming a better world for my children, my children's children and as many others as I can along the way. I am the Jinchuriki of the Kyubi no Kitsune. He does not wish me to share his name with you. When I befriended him, I made a promise to help my fellow Jinchuriki and Kyu's brethren whenever I had the chance. Gaara's seal is an atrocity that harmed him and Shukaku. I intend to fix that. What Gaara does with that power is up to him, but I would encourage him to create an understanding with Shukaku. Naruto took a deep breath after his monologue. The Sand siblings were speechless, especially Gaara. His whole life he had been persecuted and his life had been under threat. Shukaku kept him alive at the cost of his sanity. Gaara knew that after these 8 months of peace, Gaara didn't want to go back to the insanity. Will a new seal allow me to sleep? He asked in a submissive tone. Yes, and it should allow you use of your sand again as well. I do not know how much of your sand ability was you and how much was Shukaku. From what I understand, abilities such as yours run in your family, so it is possible Shukaku's chakra just enhanced your natural ability. It was Kankuro that asked a question this time. What made you do all of this? Why go this far for strangers? Why reach out to the other villagers? Naruto chuckled at the question before responding. I am the last of the Uzumaki and Namikaze clans. My mother's clan, the Uzumaki, left a parting message for any survivor that found the vault in Azuchiogakure. They asked me to let go of past grudges and rebuild the Uzumaki clan to former glory. My father endeavored to bring peace to the elemental nations before making the ultimate sacrifice. I inherited my dreams from them and came to accept it in my own way. Because of my lineage, I was raised in secrecy. That secrecy was only broken a little less than 2 years ago. Rather than run from the past grudges my lineage carried with it, I ran toward them. Kumo, Iwa and Kiri destroyed the Uzumaki clan. My father left deep scars on Kumo and Iwa. I focused on burying the past and moving toward the better future. My appeal to Ai and Onoki worked, and here we are. Now I make a similar offer to you. The Sand siblings were blinded by the light that emanated from Naruto. They had never been shown such kindness or sincerity before. Their father always treated them with a cold, militaristic practicality and in Gaara's case, hatred. It didn't hurt that those blue eyes and killer smile practically demanded access to their souls. It felt like everything was laid bare before him. I will trust you, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Naruto's smile lit up further. He informed Gaara that he would return tomorrow and take him to his compound. The sealing would be done there. Naruto disappeared in a yellow flash, leaving 3 stunned siblings to figure out what the fuck just happened. Naruto returned the next day and escorted the 3 siblings to his compound. The clones were fewer in number today, a mere 50, out in the training grounds. The Sand siblings still gawked at the clones on the way in. Naruto saw Jiraiya waiting for them in the living room. After brief introductions, the group made their way down to the study. Once again, Naruto had done an amazing amount of prep work, drawing seals all over the floor of his father's study. Naruto had Gaara strip off his top and 2 clones began drawing the intricate seals on his body, starting from the seal's origin, his heart. While the clones were drawing the seals onto him, Naruto let Gaara in on part of his plan. I am going to use Q's chakra and enter your mindscape to have a discussion with Shukaku. I believe I will be able to locate and isolate the foreign element while I am in there. You will come in with me. Be warned, since there is no separation, we will be in the same area as Shukaku. Shukaku will likely be in a foul mood after having his chakra suppressed for so long. I would advise you to use this opportunity to make a proper introduction and aim to put old issues to rest. At Gaara's nod, Naruto had him sit down in a meditative posture. The clones continued their work while Naruto put his hand on Gaara's head. He closed his eyes, focused on his link to Kurama and entered Gaara's mindscape. Naruto appeared in a desert with the sun bearing down, with Gaara on his left and Kurama behind him. The only thing that stood out against the endless dunes was a giant cave. Shortly after they arrived, the giant sand tanuki emerged from the cave. He stood about 20 stories tall, had his full body and tail made of a dull brown sand with what appeared to be tattoo markings running along the length of its body. The tiny, beaded golden eyes looked down on the group, except Kurama, who towered over the tanuki. The tanuki let out a great shriek and yelled at his visitors in a shrieky voice, "Begone, brother, you are not welcomed here." Naruto spoke in a calm, yet firm tone. "I care not if you invited us in. I have come here to deliver a message and a warning that you will heed." Shukaku snapped his mouth shut and waited for the boy to speak. "First, I will be reworking your seal to make it more comfortable for you and Gaara. I recommend you learn how to work with your Jinchuriki, as I have worked with Kurama." Now, this got a reaction from Shukaku. First the tanuki reeled back in surprise and gaped its mouth. Then it bellowed out its laughter. He. The almighty Kurama brought to heel by a human boy. Never thought I would see the day. Shukaku was cut off as Naruto entered his golden Kyuubi state and flared his aura. Immediately behind him, Kurama assumed a menacing posture, snarled and flared his aura as well. Even if the giant tanuki was at full power, this would have silenced him immediately. Naruto's voice carried a sharp warning edge to it as he said, "This is your one warning, Shukaku. You will respect my partner in my presence of suffer my wrath. Now remain silent, lest I lose my patience with you. Kurama snickered at the verbal beating his little brother just received. The warning I have come to share is that a group of S-ranked missing ninja will soon make their move on the Biju. We do not know what they want with the Biju, but we do know that, at your current level, you are an easy target. Thus, why I told you to work with Gaara. Shukaku sneered at this. Me? Work with that boy? I fear no human. Naruto cut Shukaku off with a Kurama-enhanced gale palm that sent him flying. When the tanuki landed on his back, he opened his eyes to see Naruto on his snout looking down on him. Shukaku, you are an immobile opponent with glaring weaknesses on your own. I have no doubt, that should you break out of Gaara's seal, that this group is prepared to handle you. I could handle you without the use of Kurama's chakra. You will work with Gaara to get stronger, or you will both die. It is as simple as that. Now, sit here and be a good tanuki while I got and say hello to the priest. Naruto jumped off Shukaku's snout and appeared at the entrance to a dark cave. The stalagmites hanging down dripped water in an eerie, drip, drip, that echoed across the cave. Naruto entered what he assumed to be the main area to see a man in white cloth, with a sash across his abdomen, watch him enter. Before the priest could speak, a claw formed from Kurama's chakra stretched out from Naruto's arm and ensnared the priest. The priest became coated in the fiery red chakra and screamed as his existence was snuffed out. Naruto didn't feel like listening to the ramblings of a madman. Hopefully, by doing this, Shukaku will have some peace inside the seal. Naruto had nothing left to say to the tanuki, so he closed his eyes and withdrew from the mindscape. Outside the seal, Kankuro and Temari had watched Naruto enter his golden Kyuubi state and saw a brief spark of red chakra around Gaara's seal. They dared not make a move with Jiraiya watching them. Shortly after, Naruto and Gaara opened their eyes. Gaara looked at his siblings and gave them a nod to show he was okay. Naruto clapped his hands together. Okay, Gaara, that was the easy part. Naruto then put Gaara into a medically induced sleep and lay him in the seal matrix written on the floor of the training room. He once again entered his gold state and tore off the suppressant seal that he had applied to Gaara 8 months ago. There was an immediate presence of Shukaku's chakra that permeated the room. Naruto then channeled chakra into the sealing array. It went much the same as it did for Anko. First the array around the room collapsed to surround Gaara, then kanji began moving along Gaara's skin and causing severe discomfort. Finally, the kanji coalesced around Gaara's heart until it shaped into the Uzumaki swirl. Naruto reverted into a normal state, inspected his handiwork and escorted Temari and Kankuro, who was carrying Gaara, back to their lodgings. He parted, letting them know he would see them in a few days. A few hours later, Gaara woke up from his sleep to find that he could use his chakra again. He played with small amounts of sand in his palm as he talked to his brother and sister. After verifying he was okay, something strange happened. Temari noticed Gaara was smiling, not the creepy, sadistic smile, but a genuine smile. Then Gaara spoke and blew his siblings' minds. I think I will do all I can to help Naruto achieve his dreams. I will first make Suna a better place to live. Then, should Naruto ever need my help, I will help him achieve his peace. Meanwhile, back on the Namika's compound, it was Kuretsuki's turn to go out on the town with Naruto. She chose to wear a sleeker and sexier version of her combat attire. She wore a ruby red dress that covered the left arm and left the right arm exposed. The dress hugged her figure down to the slit on the left leg that revealed all the way to her upper thigh. Naruto picked her up in an orange button-down shirt with the unique golden Uzumaki swirl surrounding the Kyuubi on the back. They walked around the Konoha market, stopping at vendors to look at knickknacks and other things they found interesting. They made their way to a dumpling stand that Kuretsuki had taken a shine to. They enjoyed a light dinner there before a movie. Kuretsuki wanted to watch the new Princess Gale movie that starred her favorite actress, Yuki Fujikaze. Naruto could care less about the movie, but it was great spending time alone with Kuretsuki. Much like Samui, Kuro posed a tough exterior figure with a soft and sweet inside. During the movie, hand-holding, turned to cuddling, turned to making out, finally turned to hands wandering. The couple's antics were largely ignored by the other people in the theater thanks to a genjutsu Kuro put up. When the movie was finally over, Kuro asked Naruto if they could go to the Hokage monument. Being up high on the mountain made her feel at home. They enjoyed the view for a couple of minutes before Kuro climbed into his lap and straddled him. Naruto's hand found their place on Kuro's tight reed end and began squeezing in gentle provocation. She smiled down at his chiseled face before kissing him. Naruto was working on a chakra sensation theory he had developed since mastering his Kyofu's sensual arts. Essentially, Naruto used his chakra to invade the person's sensory system and amped up their sensitivity to stimulation. This ecstasy had the side effect of being quite addictive. After a thorough makeout session on the Yondaim's head, the two returned to the house. Kuro had explained how she wanted to save the rest of the sexual stuff for after marriage. This risk of political fallout was too high otherwise, and Naruto respected that. Instead, she enjoyed a massage from Naruto and a solid night of cuddling with her dream man. The next day passed with nothing special happening and it was Hinata's turn to go out on a date with Naruto. Naruto was blown away by the lavender dress that Hinata was wearing. It protected her modesty quite thoroughly by have only a slight dip to the chest, but it left both arms exposed. The dress continued all the way to Hinata's high-heeled shoes. However, due to its form-fitting nature, it showed off Hinata's tremendous bust. At a little over 14 years old, Hinata was sporting D-cup breasts, a flat and toned stomach and a plump ass. It made Naruto grateful that she always wore the baggy clothes to keep the boys away. Unlike his previous dates, he had the misfortune of running into his old classmates. Hinata wanted ramen, so Naruto had booked the premium lounge at Ichiraku. On their way there, they were holding hands and having a great time until a certain mutt showed up. Oi, Naruto, you bastard. First, I see you out with Ino, then that sexy proctor from our exams and now Hinata. How dare you play Hinata-chan for a fool? The angry voice of Kiba carried across the market district and caused more than a few people to look at him askance. Kiba, shut your mouth before I muzzle you. There are things that you don't understand, and I quite frankly don't have the patience to explain to you. So, I will say this once, mutt, get out of my way and go ask your mom to see the wedding invite she received. Naruto's voice carried a deadly edge to it. Kiba knew he was outclassed, but Hinata was the one girl that he had his eyes on from his class. Seeing Hinata in that beautiful dress emboldened Kiba's feral instincts. He attempted to puff out his chest and assert his dominance on Naruto. Naruto brushed it aside or asserted his aura. Even though he focused it on Kiba, it still caused the ground around his feet to crack and the wind chimes in a vendor's shop to go haywire. Kiba instantly backed down, with his tail between his legs. In a meek voice, he said, "You deserve better, Hinata-chan. This guy doesn't appreciate you the way I do." Hinata put a hand on Naruto's shoulder to halt his response. She stepped forward boldly and looked Kiba in the eye. "What makes you think you know anything about Naruto-kun? Despite having 6 of us girls, he treats us all better than we ever imagined. Now stop ruining our date, Kiba-san, and run along." She made a shooing movement with her hand. Naruto couldn't hold back his laughter. The ever-gracious Hinata Hyuga just made a doggy joke to Kiba. Oh, this was gold. He couldn't wait to share the memory with Q. He would never stop rubbing this in the lil pup's face. The sad and dejected look on Kiba's face didn't even bother him. He just scooped Hinata up bridal style and made his way to Ichiraku's ramen. It was Naruto's first time in the premium lounge at the Ichiraku's restaurant. The years had been good to Ayami and Tsuki. It helped that Naruto's harem and everyone close to them loved to eat at the restaurant. The lounge was nice, with a private and comfortable table for 2 nestled between 2 love seats. Hinata chose Naruto's lap for her seat. She really appreciated the privacy of the lounge, it let her bring out her inner freak. A blushing Ayami entered the room to see the two making out. She greeted them both warmly, took their orders and swore to knock before entering next time. Hinata had come the furthest in the past 9 months. Her shyness around Naruto eroded away and her freak side was stoked by the flames of Anko and Ino. Those two were wild. However, unlike Anko and Ino, Hinata could keep her inner freak on a leash in public. They enjoyed the ramen and sake before moving on to the next part of the date. Tonight, there was a show put on in the Konoha theater. It happened to be a play about 2 star-crossed lovers, whose families hated each other, blah, 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 dude gets himself killed and this Juliet chick offs herself. Hinata was moved to tears while Naruto put on a fake smile and applauded. It wasn't his kind of thing, but tonight wasn't about him, it was about Hinata. Hinata modeled after Kuretsuki and Samui when it came to sex. She would save it for after marriage because if she did it before marriage her father would likely kill Naruto. That didn't stop her from giving Naruto some of the best head he had ever received. She saw how he would apply chakra during the light touching and petting sessions they had previously. She just applied the concept with her hands, mouth and tongue. She looked so gorgeous with the little cum dribble coming from her lips. Fortunately, or unfortunately, for Hinata, she awoke the beast in Naruto. His tongue and fingers left her in a crumpled heap on a soaked bed. She cuddled up into the warmth and safety of his chest and enjoyed a wonderful night's sleep. Haku was quite possibly one of Naruto's greatest challenges. The girl had grown up subservient to the will of her master, Zabuza. Unfortunately, this mentality had carried over to Naruto. Him and his clones had tried to break her of the submissive habit with minor success. There have been marginal improvements, but she immediately cowed to Naruto's will. He decided to make her choose the date's itinerary for the night. After a long day of working on space-time fuinjutsu techniques, he was exhausted, and he wanted Haku to decide the destiny for the night. Naruto was pleased when she chose the same sushi restaurant that Samui did because it showed him that she was favoring her preferences. They enjoyed a quiet dinner where Naruto discovered more about her wants and dreams for the future. She had struggled to think of a dream for the future the first time Naruto had asked her. However, she gave him his answer tonight. Naruto-kun, what I want is to become your wife and lead a branch of the Uzumaki clan. I want to pass on my bloodline to our children and train them. I so desperately want to see this piece you so passionately speak of. I would like to further my training in the medical arts and get a job at the hospital here. While I will continue to be a shinobi until I am with child, I would like to have that job to fall back on. As for the future, I just want you and our future family in it. The look on her face was radiant as she said this. She was wearing a long sleeve, V-neck blue shirt with white edging that gave just a glimpse of her cleavage from above. It was the exposed midsection that barely covered the underboob that really got Naruto going though. The way she squeezed his hand while Hazel met azure blue eyes furthered her allure. Naruto was pleased with this development and let her know as much. They had a great dinner with a more two-sided conversation than Naruto was used to having with Haku. Haku chose to go on a hike through the woods near Konoha's wall. She chose a trail that had a wonderful waterfall on its path. They sat on a rock atop the waterfall and talked some more. The sun had yet to fall when she requested Naruto to take her to her room. When Naruto walked in, he saw some light bondage gear laid out on the bed. He took a step back and held her shoulders with straight arms. Making sure to maintain eye contact, he waited for her to explain. Ruto, I will do my best to be more assertive in our daily lives. However, when I was listening to the other girls' experiences with your clones, I thought about what I would prefer in their situation. I want to be submissive to you in the bedroom, Ruto. I want you to own me and ravage my body when we are within the confines of my bedroom. Will you do this for me? Haku broke out the puppy dog eyes and broke Naruto's will to resist. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.